Hello, everyone. Coming up here on the Pro Wrestling Show, presenting NXT Ring Report. As you see, over Hendry, that week was the NXT champion after defeating Leon Slater. Over Hendry did something that no one didn't expect. Over Hendry won his match, and left the NXT Championship vacated. We'll get to the fate of the NXT title coming up. I'm General Manager Ava. We'll address that in the beginning of the show. We'll talk about coming over here in the Pro Wrestling Show. Also, too, a lot of TNA news. We're hearing reports that EC3 may be coming back to TNA. Which I assume he may be heading back to TNA. Hopefully they do. Let's just talk about the Rascalz as well. What's going on with the Rascalz? Well, we can NXT Ring Report started right here, right now. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. I'm your host, as always, Peter Dixon. Megan joins here for the NXT Ring Report. Join in the conversation using the hashtag NXT, the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on the NXT Ring Report. All right. You ain't gonna waste no time whatsoever. You know it now. Started right here, right now. We're Ava. Ava, the general manager, kicked things off. As you see right here. Right. We playing that man. All right. All right. All right. Ava, the general manager, came in. We see a lot of women there, right? But we'll get to that in a minute. All right. Ava, the general manager, came out there to talk about the status of the NXT Championship. The status of the NXT Championship. That was the topic that Ava wanted to discuss and bring up. Ava made sure to say what was going to go down. Well, Ava said that the title will be held vacated after Open Family vacated the championship. Open Family on his way to the main roster. We just don't know what show Open's going to be on. Told you likely might be on Raw. Ricky Saints came out there. Ricky Saints saying that he went against just about everybody in NXT from the main event of Stand Deliver. Tricky talking about including Trick Williams, who's on SmackDown, and Javon Evans, who's now on Raw. Now we just now figuring out where Owen Family's gonna land and stuff. Well, Ricky Saints thought he was gonna be the champion, but Abraham had to remind him, like, hey, you're not gonna be the champion. You're gonna have to earn this belt. And that's what Ricky Saints is gonna have to do. Ricky Saints saying, who do I got to go against? Well, Ava made it clear that Ricky Saints is going to have to compete in a 6-person ladder match and to become the champion on episode of NXT. It'll happen on the February 3rd edition of NXT if Ricky Saints is successful. Well, Ava probably decided a little bit later that Ricky Saints does get a qualifying bye, being the previous champion. So Ricky Saints is in. He gets him a bye. But we know next week, Ricky Saints not going to be alone. These are going to be some matches right here. These 2 matches right here. They're going to determine right here who's going to be the 2 men. As we see Josh Bridges taking on Silo Hill one-on-one. Which one of these 2 tall men, these 6'8"ers, are going to get themselves an opportunity, as well as Evolve Stars been called up. Sean Legacy taking on Eli Knight. We'll see them wrestle. Which one of these 2 men, which one of these 4 men going to advance and be in that ladder match for the championship? We'll see. Coming up. Speaking of that, like I said, Ava's been trying to negotiate, trying to make the deals and make the calls and stuff like that. It's a brawl right there. A lot of people are jockeying in for position. Who's going to be the NXT Championship? That's Ava has said opportunity creates chaos. Chaos creates opportunity. This gives somebody a new light. Again, new opportunity. To become NXT champion. So we shall see. Go through. Things like that. More matches as well. Lola Vice. Lola Vice was in action against Kalani Jordan, the former TNA champion. And Lola Vice won. And Lola Vice, proving that she's a top commodity as well. We're here to report Lola Vice could be heading to the main roster as well. Hopefully her come to the main roster and strap her up. We'll see. Also, too, um, Ethan Page. He wanted to be in the championship picture, but Abe told him he's going to be wrestling next week against NXT's newest superstar. NXT's newest superstar. You got Ethan Page didn't see it when coming. But NXT's newest superstar coming in. As we see, we have Solomon stuff. So I guess El Grand Cronio or something like that. Right here. Ethan Page is going to be wrestling him. El Grand LaFurio. This is his first match on NXT. And he'll get him next week. And this Ethan Page. So we're looking forward to seeing that as well. Well, speaking of that, Stacks, the TNA International Champion, finished title against Shiloh Hill. Stacks retained his championship against Shiloh. Stacks wanted to be a part of it, but what's his name? Said, hey, you got the title, you got the girl, so you really don't need him. So I guess that's what he was trying to put out and saying. Well, we'll see how that pulling out with Stacks with Lexus King playing a big difference, and I think they're all trying to jog in position to something. Well, Tavion Heights didn't get the speed title as Jasper Hill retained. No, Jasper Troy retained his championship, the speed title. So Tavion didn't get the job done. Take the championship away from it. Jasper. Okay, how that went. Well, speaking of that, what else happened? Well, we see Lexus King trying to get his hands on Tavion Height. Taking him down, I don't know why. You know what he's doing, but we'll see about that. Well, speaking of that, look, Izzy Dame is the new North American champion. It's been having problems already. Izzy trying to take a pass and trying to get her hands on Izzy Dame. So, we saw that. Pam Patton won the championship from Tia Hill. Izzy Dame getting beat up by her former best friend Tam Patton. You see how they're gonna go down as well. But his name with the championship belt. So, so you know that went. Speaking of that, Bateman Rowan might be having a new feud with Miss Parker, Jada Parker, have returned. Jada Parker returned, interrupting Blake Monroe. Blake Monroe didn't like that one bit. Blake Monroe, Jada Parker had went and took their frustration out on each other, eating the holy hell out of each other throughout the whole entire match. So, 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 so you see how that went down as well. So a lot of moving parts throughout TNA, throughout NXT. But I mean, kind of like everything's been kind of predictable. But speaking of that, we get to the main event. I want to get to the main event right quick. And that was the main event. Joe Henry went against Dion Lennox. Joe Henry going against Dion Lennox. And Joe Henry taking on Dion in a no disqualification match. Dion Lennox had his boys, Dark State, in his corner, but we thought it was going to be it until Joe Henry decided to bring out some new boy over the mill. Look like they're going to be baby faces. Over the mill came out there and beat in Joe Henry's side. Joe Henry getting the win and getting the victory over Dion Lennox. Dion Lennox didn't see that one coming. Dion Lennox being picked with the help of Tony D'Angelo. Tony D'Angelo helping out Joe Henry. Don't know why Tony D'Angelo playing assistance as he did tonight. Tony D'Angelo helping out Joe Henry and doing so. Joe Henry did not see that one coming. No one didn't see that one coming, but I bet Joe Henry was kind of glad that Tony D'Angelo was there to help him out. He did play play a key factor, a key role. Saw how that went there. Saw how that went. Tony D'Angelo helping out Joe Henry. He did tonight right here. Right here that make the cover on Dion Lennox. So it ended NXT for tonight. All right. Let's go end the NXT Ring Report. Let's move over to Wrestling Hot Topics. On Wrestling Hot Topics, let's talk about this. We know that in 2 days, TNA will be returning. And I was thinking that since EC3 had left the NWA, he's going to make a play to go back to TNA. And I'm kind of seeing vignettes now saying about it's a line he won't cross. So looks like EC3 could be heading to Impact. We're hearing Jericho might be coming. So we're seeing a lot. We're going to keep a close eye on it. And once we do see on the premiere on AMC on TNA, we'll get an idea of what's going on. Well, but this is the TNA lineup right here. And right here, I'll show you right quick before we leave out. Santana versus Frankie Kazarian for a TNA title. AJ Styles making a premiere appearance, as well as the Inspiration taking on the Arrogance Band, the Hardys, and Elijah taking on Order 4. They'll be happening this Thursday on TNA on AMC on this debut premiere. So we'll see where that's going to go. Speaking of that, we're seeing that CM Punk and AJ Lee are still mourning the loss of their dog, Larry. Larry played a pivotal role in their lives and perhaps is the inspiration to them coming back to WWE. So they kind of miss Larry and kind of think of him. They're still grieving at this point. So you see how that's going to go. But speaking of that, we're hearing reports about the Rascalz are no longer employed with TNA. So all the Rascalz gone. We'll see. We'll keep a close eye on it. A lot of moving parts going on, but like I said, we're moving towards the TNA premiere as well. Speaking of that, they support Ric Flair. Had been on his online talking about him doing a cameo and saying that he's not doing poor performance with cameos and saying that he shot his house. So Nature Boy Ric Flair probably got to word it, I guess, the Nature Boy trying to apologize for his cameo. Speaking of that, WWE Variety reports that WWE had big news with on them on Netflix in their first year. They pulled out 340 million views first year on Raw. Yeah, that's big, you know. That's how Netflix getting their money's worth. Next thing you know, WWE gonna be on Netflix exclusively. It ain't gonna be no this place that be exclusive. I say that right now. So, we'll see how that's gonna go. Well, speaking of that, next week we told you the NXT Championship ladder match qualifying will begin. Josh Bridges taking on Shiloh Hill, as well as Evolve Sean Legacy versus Elon Knight, as well as Ethan Page putting the North American Championship against Ifalua next week as well. And next week, our women's triple threat tag team match. Winners will get a shot at the Knockouts tag team titles. Who that's going to be, we're going to have to wait and see. But we're going to leave you with Tony D'Angelo helping Joe Hendry pin Dion Lennox. What's going on with that? Thank you for watching this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. I've been your host, Kendrick Dick, saying so long. Thanks for watching.